Hi, Nance.
All right, guys, we are joined in the deadline room now by Jimmie Johnson. He's our 5-time NASCAR Sprint Cup Series champion, currently third in points, and he has one win here at Texas Motor Speedway. Just open it up to you to talk about Texas and your practice session yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday was it's kind of tough with the tire allotment that we have. Figuring out the best strategy, we elected to go with qualifying trim yesterday and worked on that through the entire session. So we'll see how today goes. In qualifying, it's a little different because now today we'll just focus on race runs. And then in my head mentally, I have to switch over to qualifying at the end of the day. So it's a challenge with finding the right rhythm as a driver and trying to maximize the amount of tires you have and how the teams choose to use them with these split practice sessions and the limited amount of tires we have. So at the end of the day, we'll learn a lot more, but I think we're off to a decent start.
Perfect. Okay, we'll go to the media for questions. Please raise your hands high because I can't see because I'm a little vertically challenged. Questions? Anyone? Okay, we'll start with Reed Spencer up here and then go to Claire B.
Reed Spencer with Sporting News. Jimmie, last night Richard Petty was honored in the Texas Motor Hall of Fame, as were you.
Yeah.
He's got a number of iconic records in NASCAR racing: 200 wins, 27 in a season, 10 in a row, that sort of thing, 7 championships. You're working on your own iconic record, 5 in a row, working on 6. How do you view that in relation to some of the things that he accomplished? And could you talk a little bit about the difficulty of winning 5 in a row without getting derailed anywhere in the process?
Yeah, winning consecutive championships is such a hard thing to do. At the end of the day, that is what I'm most proud of, and I couldn't do it alone. Obviously, it's a team sport, and there's a lot of men and women that have worked at Hendrick Motorsports and guys on this crew that have helped lead to all of that. I would say the same thing through his career. It's about the people and the people taking the time and being committed to the race team. So I'm very proud of what we've accomplished, and I look at what Richard has done on and off the track and certainly commend him. Not only did he win all of those races and championships, but he's extremely well known for what he did off the track and helping our sport reach the fans and grow that fan base. At a very young point in NASCAR's career, and he's done a ton, and still today is out there and active and making it happen. So I have the utmost respect for what he has done on and off the track.
Claire B. Lang, Sirius NASCAR Radio. Yesterday you were 7th in practice, Dale Earnhardt Jr. 13th, Martin 26th, and Gordon 35th. Can you talk about what we might see in qualifying today and how you guys stack up and yourself for qualifying today? I know you have practice, but talk about that.
Yeah, we worked on qualifying trim. I know the 24 did not. They were just in race trim, and that's why they were down there on the sheet where they were. The 5, I think, made one qualifying run and went into race trim. I can't recall exactly what the 88 did. So we're all just trying to maximize the tires that we have and the amount of time on track. And I don't think as a company we know where we want to be yet. So we're all on our own little agendas and just trying to take advantage of things. So tonight we'll know a lot more as we go into qualifying, and even then, I mean, still with these schedules, it's still tough to know who is on what tire. When you look at lap tracker and race trim, who's on scuffs, how many laps are on those tires. Through both practice sessions, we have these conversations, and then we start the race. And the last few weeks, we felt like we've been pretty far off on Saturday nights going into our Sunday races. And we drop the flag in the race and we run well. So it's just really confusing to know where your competition is with the rules as they are right now and the practice sessions being spread out. So I'm not sure what type of drama it creates for the fans and if it's interesting or not, but for us, it's creating a lot of extra stress.
Okay, we'll go to David Caravello, Dave Rodman, and then Kenny Bruce.
DavidNASCAR.com. Hey, Jimmie, I know Dale Jr.'s team is essentially Jeff year, but is it too early to tell yet whether the 48-88 combination is playing a role in them kind of turning things around? Is it too early to read anything into that yet?
Yeah, I think that if we had major issues, they would have shown up already. And I think the way that both teams are running, granted we don't have the consistent weekend that we want really for all 4 cars, but we're getting good finishes, we're all running well, we're all producing. I think that in tough times like we've been going through, and to have the results shows that we all work very well together, and that the change with Jeff going to the Alan Gustafson crew and Junior coming to the Steve Letarte crew, that's all worked really well, and our management did a good job of thinking that through. And then all the people involved have done a very good job of staying on board and doing their jobs and doing the right things. So I think we can read into it, and I think things have been going well.
Dave.
Yeah, Jimmie, Dave Rodman with NASCAR.com, back behind David. We'll stay on the organizational mode here. You and Junior have come close to winning. Jeff's won already. Can you get a fix on how close Mark's team might be to winning a race?
Yeah, they're close. There's certain tracks that really are Mark Martin tracks and certain types of races. When we get into a lot of restarts late in the race, that's really not Mark's specialty. But we're getting into some tracks where we'll have long runs. This is where his fitness is going to come into play. And what's cool for me is to watch Lance McGrew and that team really mature, and not necessarily mature, but gain the confidence that they deserve. I mean, they're all very talented guys, and you know they've had some bumpy, rough times over the years and some bumps in the road, and to have Mark's experience there to really steer them down the right roads and to develop that team and develop the cars. It's been a good fit there, and that team is a lot stronger than it's ever been. So I think that we're getting into an area where Mark runs well, types of races in the summer months, plus that team is coming along, and I'm confident that they'll win this year.
We'll go with Kenny.
Kenny Bruce with SceneDaily.com. Jimmie, you kind of touched on this a little bit, talking about qualifying, but how much does the way races here have played out in the past impact what you're looking for setup-wise, and does that vary from track to track?
It does. We kind of look at trends and see if the history of races have a lot of restarts at the end. I would say historically here we end up with a lot of green flag runs. So you tend to worry about how your car hangs on than you do about the short run. Although double file restarts have really made like you can't compromise as much as you could in the past. Before you'd let a guy go, don't worry about it, we'll get him in the long run. You know, these double file restarts, you don't have that luxury, and you really have to attack. So it's making it more challenging for the teams, but I feel that the way this track is aged and this tire that we're on, we're going to see a lot of drop-off, and having a car that hangs on and runs well for a long period of time is going to be the goal.
Go.
We struggled a lot off the truck, and I didn't know where to put the blame. And we made our car a lot better as the day went on, so I think it's unfair to say it was the tire. But we're finally where we ended yesterday is where I wish we could have started, and we've got another shot at it today, so that's good. But we were a bit off.
All right, we'll come up front, and then we'll go to Nicole.
Jimmie, Jerry Jordan with the Examiner newspaper. It's been a whole whopping 14 or 15. You won, and Dale Jr.'s at 100 this week. Do those drivers mean more to the media than they do to the actual drivers getting out there?
We all want to win, and I think certainly the larger the number is and the more questions are asked, it then becomes a focus for that particular driver. For myself personally, I feel like we're knocking on the door, and I've always believed that if you run consistently in the top 5, you're going to have your shots and you're going to win your fair share of races. And we've been doing that these last few weeks. So I feel like we're getting stronger and better, and that our opportunities are out there in front of us. So hopefully we can close. You never know. I mean, the sport is very, very difficult, and you don't know when you're going to win next.
Nicole.
Nicole Briscoe, ESPN, kind of over here, hiding, sort of. Have you had a chance to talk to anyone from NASCAR yet about the miscommunication on pit road last week?
I did talk to Mike Helton, and he was nice enough to invite me to the control tower and to watch exactly how the pit road system works. So I will take him up on that and go check it out.
Any other questions for Jimmie? Bob Hockers.
Bob Hockers, Scene Daily. How long did it take you to feel comfortable in trying to figure out how to maneuver pit road in the sense of, trying to go fast in this area and slow in that area? I mean, how much of a challenge is that for a driver?
For me, I felt like coming into the sport, I was a part of the evolution. I think for a driver coming in today, it's probably a little bit more difficult to jump on board, but we're all smart, and the teams dissect every aspect of the races. It's amazing what type of video footage we can produce in 20 minutes time with the Dartfish stuff that's available and teams recording information and data and scanning other race teams. You talk about knowing another guy's strategy. I mean, we all have people dedicated to scanning other race teams and what their strategy is, so what their adjustments are. So it's a wild world where we're collecting so much information, and it just takes a few years to process it all and to really become proficient at it. And pit road is that way, and it's kind of a moving target from week to week because depending on your pit road pick, some weeks you don't qualify well, you don't have a good option, and it's pretty simple. Other weeks, you qualify well, you've got a good stall, and you can be aggressive in some areas. So you just got to stay on your toes, and it's another discipline to be competitive at the cup level. Another discipline that you have to focus on.
Dave, you have one more question?
Denny was talking a few minutes ago about using video, to try to get better at certain racetracks. How common is that among drivers, and how much can you learn from just watching your car go around on videotape?
You can. I mean, there's very limited information for the drivers to look at, and I think we're all trying to find out how we can use video to our advantage. It's easier for qualifying. In a race, it's just so difficult to see and to know what's really going on. But there's companies out there that produce this ghost car image that we see with Dartfish, and for qualifying, it's a tool. I mean, it can help if you're struggling in an area. It's easy to watch the video and watch whoever the fastest car is or whoever you ask to have your car overlaid with, to watch their line, to watch their braking points, to watch their acceleration points, and it really helps. I mean, it's our version of going to tape to review, but it's only really helpful. There's some pit road stuff that's helpful, oddly enough, and there's some stuff on qualifying. Race-wise, it's just too difficult to figure out. Yep.
Any other questions for Jimmie? Okay. Thanks, Jimmie. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you.